If you do what everybody else does, you'll be like everybody else. It's that simple. When I was coming up through business, all my friends were getting quote-unquote real jobs, and they were making $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year, and they were looking at me and they were saying, when are you going to grow up? We're out here doing this, and they're going on these vacations, and they're doing all these things, and guess what I had to do? Oh, I had to work 7 days a week. But guess what? Over the course of time, that begins to change. And now, every single one of those motherfuckers is in the exact same position they were in 20 years ago. And I'm not. And you know what happens when things like what's happening in the world now are happening, where people are getting laid off? Do you know what they do?
Call you.
They fucking call me. And instead of saying, when are you going to get a real job? They say, hey, you think I could interview for your company?
You got any real jobs over there?
There you go. Okay? So when you sit here and you watch all these people and they continue to go do all these things that seem to be super fun, just realize that there's a cost to those things that you're not going to see until down the road. All right? Right now, you're looking at everybody and you're thinking, fuck, dude, I don't get to do any of this shit. They get to do it, have all this fun, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, except you don't see them when you're 23. You don't see them at 40 or 50. All right? I'm old enough where I see those people at 23 who laughed at me. Those people who were doing all this shit, making me feel like shit for what I was doing. I now know what their lives are like at 40 years old. Okay? And let me tell you, it ain't that great. And if you go ask any of them, they'll say, oh, well, this is what I wanted because I'm a humble person. This is all I needed. Yet, if you go out and you put 3 beers in them, they're going to bitch about how much money they don't have and how they're in financial distress and how their marriage is fucked up because they don't have a way to fucking support everything. You can't do everything the wife wants to do and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm sitting there looking at them like, I thought you said this is what you wanted. You see what I'm saying? So we have to, as young people, you guys have to understand, yes, people are going to go out and do shit, and it's going to make you feel like, fuck, well, I should be doing shit too. But those people are going to end up in a place that you don't want to be. And if you behave like those people and you listen to those people, you will be those people. That is the reality. So many of you guys want to listen to your mom and your dad and your aunts and your uncles and your teachers. And if you actually gave an objective, visual scan of their existence, you would realize they're broke, they're stupid, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, they're miserable, they're unfulfilled, yet they feel qualified to give you all this advice about what the fuck you should be doing. If you don't want their life, you shouldn't listen to a fucking word they said, unless it's something that gives you an indication about what not to do so that you don't end up like them. That's the reality. So stop looking at your quote-unquote friends at 23 years old thinking that those are your fucking friends. Those aren't your friends. Those are people you fucking grew up with. Those are people you went to school with. You don't even have any real friends at 23 because you have different goals and you haven't met anybody that also has those goals. Those will be your fucking friends. The people who will sit down with you and say, how can I help you win? You can help me win. That's fucking friendship. Okay? Friendship is not just because you graduated high school with someone or just because you went to college with someone or just because you drank beer with someone. That's not friendship. And we have to stop being loyal to people who we associated with when we were young thinking we owe them something. You don't owe them anything. The only person that you fucking owe is yourself. And what you owe yourself to do is to pay attention in a very honest and real way to everybody else's lives that are giving you advice and say, do I want that guy's life? Oh, I don't. What about that one? No, I don't want that one either. No, I don't want that one. Oh, I don't want anybody's life that's telling me shit, which is likely the case. So what do you got to do? You got to go find people who have the life that you want, and you start emulating what they do, and you try to get close to them, and you listen to what they say. And you guys live in the most privileged society ever when it comes to that. When I was 22 years old, we had books. We had fucking podcasts. We didn't have rich motherfuckers who built empires telling us what the fuck to do. We didn't have any of that shit. We didn't have people that were willing to coach you or help you or do anything for you. We had to read it in a book. I didn't even fucking know anybody that was successful. You see what I'm saying? Now you guys turn on the internet and you see fucking all these people who are successful, which by the way, most of them are lying, just being honest. You gotta dig in, like I've been talking about. What's their business? What's their product? Who are their customers? How long they've been doing it? What's their employees say? Where's their headquarters? Can I order the product? How do they fulfill it? Do they have real shit going on? If you would just ask those questions, it'd be real easy to identify who was what, okay? But I can tell you this, you're not gonna get rich overnight, you're not gonna get rich in a year, and the good news is it's not gonna take you 10 or 11 years like it took me, because you have technology that didn't exist. So you guys grow up with this technology, and you also grow up with this ability to have access to people who have done these things, and you still bitch like it's hard. You don't even know what fucking hard is, bro. You have no idea. Go try reading Tony Robbins books, and then deduce what you can from there and go start a business.
Right.
And that's the only thing you got. Okay, you don't have the internet, you don't have cell phones, you don't have shit. You gotta go do it. You motherfuckers couldn't do it. You wouldn't go door to door knocking on doors. And if you wouldn't go door to door knocking on doors, you don't have what it takes anyway, because ultimately, it's whatever the fuck it takes. But basically, my message to you is, don't listen to motherfuckers that have never done anything, including your fucking friends, including your parents, including your aunts and uncles, including fucking anyone, if you want a better life. If you listen to them, you'll be like them. That is the bottom line. So when someone's telling you what to do with your money, or how to live, or how to do this, and how to do that, and how to do this, look at their fucking life. And I mean really look at it. What kind of money do they make? What kind of house do they live in? What kind of car do they drive? What's their family like? What are they like? And look at it very honestly. And then you can decide whether or not you can take their advice or not. It's no different than making an investment in a stock. Okay? Your stock is you. All right? You're 23 years old. You're going to make an investment in some stock. And because you made an investment in stock, that's money that you can't spend on going out to the bars, and you can't buy a car with it, and you can't do this, you can't go to fucking Dubai, you can't do because the money's invested in you, because you're a stock, okay? And then over the course of time, that stock is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and 20 years from now, you're gonna have so much going for you that no one else around you is gonna even have. And it's because they spent their energy capital, their money capital. They did not make that investment. They went on the trip to Dubai. They went on the trip to fucking here and there. They fucking bought a car they couldn't afford. They did all these things they shouldn't have done. And they didn't make that investment in themselves, so there's no payoff over here. So if you look at yourself like that, and you look at it as a stock, all these things that you're missing out on, all this money that you're putting into yourself and not into Jordans and other bullshit no one gives a fuck about, now you start to understand that these are investments that have a payoff. It's not a sacrifice. The biggest lie told in personal development is this idea of sacrifice. How is it a fucking sacrifice if you're getting a payoff at the end? It's only a sacrifice if there's no payoff. So whatever you're missing, whatever effort you have to put in, whatever you have to endure, that is an investment. That is not a sacrifice. What are you missing out on? You're missing out on going to a bar with a bunch of drunks, drinking some shitty beer with a bunch of fat bitches. Then do that. And then you'll fucking have all these problems your whole life, bro. Or take the time now and say, I'm gonna become this and this and this, and realize what the fuck you're gonna become and dedicate yourself to it, and eventually you will be that and nobody else will be. That's how it works, man. You're not missing out on shit. You just feel like you are because your friends think they got one up on you right now, but they don't. Because you'll be the one with the last laugh when you're not having to work at fucking Wendy's when you're 40 years old.